Welcome back racers to the channel and another video on Gran Turismo Sport. This is the highlight video of the ARC Adrenaline Racing Community versus JEV Team Racing event that happened this Sunday. Due to many factors, myself and the team were expecting an extremely hard battle, as I will touch on those things as we go through the video. So the layout was two 30-minute races. This is the first race, Group 3 Hyundais, everyone's in the same car around Catalonia. Second race, Group 4 Audi TT around Fuji Short. So here we go then, ARC in white, JEV in blue, and you can see from the starting lineup there that most of the ARC cars are towards the front and most of the blue boys are at the back. But somehow we wrangled ourselves a 4th place on the grid, so highest starting JEV racer. But here we go then, getting a good launch, better launch than Lemmy on the left, and we're going to get in that slipstream of Becky in front of us. Going to move to the inside, big ballsy move right from the off. That's actually going to make Becky have a little bit of a mistake there, probably worrying about me up the inside, and he's going to go deep into T1, and that's going to give us the run around him into T2. So there we go, turn 3 then, this sweeping long one here, and we are in front and a train of ARC cars behind us. So first couple of corners then has gone pretty smoothly for the whole field, but as you look in the background there, it's all going to get a little bit awkward. One of the many things that we haven't done in the build up to this is practice together, is race together. As you can see here, not once, but there's going to be 2 punts there. Not punts, but you know, not braking in time, and then it's awkward. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 cars of JEV Team Racing caught up in the instant. Obviously Ruben for ARC got caught up as well, but absolutely self-damaging from JEV Team Racing there. So back on board with me at the front of the field. We just need to stay in front of the other drivers, and it happens until turn number 3 on lap 2, where I just get on the power too early and I just run wide over to the left and onto that runoff there. Luckily not getting a penalty. Usually get a penalty there, but that's going to invite Dan's up the inside, and because of those dirty tyres from going on the Astra, I didn't have enough grip coming into this right-hander there, so Becky goes by as well. So down to 3rd, coming into this tight left-hander, we're just going to receive a little tap in the back, but that's fine, and we go a little bit deep because of that tap, and then the Irishman moves up the inside, so we go down to 4th, but Rubbing is racing, so nothing doing there. And we just have to settle in basically to 4th place and see if we can stick with this top 3. So the main thing that caught us as a team off guard was our preparation. We did a couple of practice sessions. We didn't race together all in one place once, whereas the ARC boys have been literally practicing for weeks, which is obviously something to admire and to take lessons from and make sure we do a better job next time, which we're already doing as we're practicing for our next event, which is over a month away. So lap 6, jumping into the pits, coming out in 6th position, so just gone down a couple of places. As you can see, the ARC boys have multiple strategies going on. Some people are going for longer stints, some people going for the shorter ones. It's around 17 laps this race, so it makes sense for me, who is terrible at tyre saving, to go for a 2-stop on 6th and lap 12. So a perfect example of strategy is this. The 2 players in front there in 3rd and 4th are on better tyres and have been let past by number 5 in front of us, who has worse off tyres, so therefore is going to be slower, so has the opportunity to slow me up and increase that gap between me and the 2 in front. In my rashness to get past, I go on the outside, miss my braking point, a slight bit of contact as I try to turn in, but I can't because there's a car there obviously, and I just go into the gravel. That is absolutely 100% my fault, and you know, we've talked about it many times over the last couple of videos that I've done, is I just need to work on my patience going past drivers. So at this point I was extremely frustrated, and coming into the pits on lap 12 I'm just going to hit the wall, and that is just going to check me out psychologically from the race. Basically I was very frustrated that I made a mistake, and then I couldn't really settle into any sort of rhythm going over the last couple of laps, but we managed to catch up with Ruben in front. The 2 JEV boys just went past him earlier this lap. He has worse off tyres than us once again. He obviously went for that one stop, I believe. And coming through this last section of corners, all I'm looking for is a mistake, just for him to run wide so I can put it up the inside or put it into that space. I decided I was going to go for a move into the chicane, and I would have made it if I broke correctly, brake there. But I didn't, so I outbroke myself and went off the track, and then I'm just going to let him pass. So the move was there to make, I just didn't execute it perfectly or correctly or any sort of good at all, really. And there we go, just rolling home in 9th position then. Kind of a disappointing race from me personally, I think. I mean, we only made 2 mistakes the whole race, but that was enough. And when you're racing players of this caliber and this pace and consistency, one mistake will do you over for the rest of the race. So there we go then. Congrats to Rono, Thomas, Dans and Lemmy for the top 3 in the first race. And here we go, the reverse grid then for race 2. The Group 4 Audi TT around Fuji Short. Now, I don't really know why I accepted this layout, because, well, I hate it. I hate Fuji, and I'm not the best fan of the Audi TT either. And, well, any front-wheel drive car. But as you can see there, another bit of self-destruction from JEV Team Racing. This is obviously, once again, we haven't practiced grid starts. We haven't practiced racing together. And once again, just destroying ourselves, really. And I know what you're thinking, oh, he's making excuses. They're not excuses, they are points to learn from. You know, we're making sure that any mistakes that we've made throughout the race, we learn from those mistakes so it doesn't happen again. But somehow we end up in first position, turn 1 once again, so happy days. It must be a good luck charm to start in 4th position, apparently. So what me and Dylan need to do now is just to run away from the pack. How far can we run? I was pretty fast on the fresh tyres, but as soon as they started to wear, I just lost all pace. I couldn't turn into corners, I couldn't get on the power early, I just really struggled. So Dylan up into first position, and good to see him back racing with the JEV boys. And on the end of lap 4, we're just going to look back and see Ruben flashing his lights at me all the way down the straight. And we've talked about this before on the channel, whether it's good or not to do this. It's done to put off the person in front, and you know what, it worked. It put me off. So there you go, it worked. It's not well, it's a frowned upon technique, but they do it all the time in real racing, so you know, why not do it in this race? So there we go, another lesson learned from the ARC boys. Even though we're trying to have a fun community race, we still need to do everything that we can to win, which is fine. And we just cut that corner, even though I've gone over that corner like that many times before, and get a 2-second penalty. So having to serve that penalty within a lap of getting it, then we're just going to go down all the way to 7th place, just coming out in front of Dan's onto the start-finish straight. He's going to dip into the pits anyway. But this race is just not going well. It's going worse than the first race for me personally. I was so frustrated, which is why we did live stream this, and why it's not up on my channel now is because I got so frustrated and irate. And even though we had the expectation of doing bad in this event, the realisation of how far off we are from the ARC boys as a racing team was a real bloody wake-up call. But let's finish on something positive, not my end couple of laps because it was boring as hell, but let's look at Dylan's finish of the race. So look at the acceleration inputs on Rono Thomas here. This is on the 2nd to last lap, and he realises that Lemmy in 3rd position needs some help. So by slowing himself down on the straights, he's going to invite Lemmy into his slipstream and help him get away from Dylan. Very smart. Is it going to work? Let's jump on with Dylan and look at him on the last lap. So I was noticing over the last couple of laps that he was catching 3rd place, and his tyres are looking pretty good, and they're looking much better than Lemmy's in front. So he's going to have that extra traction, he's going to have that extra grip in the corners, so all he needs to do is to find an opportunity to overtake him. Halfway through the lap then, can Dylan get a podium for JEV Team Racing? Looking around the outside, going to go for that cutback, but because they're in the same car, it's going to be very difficult to get any sort of cutback as they have the same power. Did very well not to go into the back of them as well, otherwise that would have just catapulted him further away, but still in the slipstream. And you can see how close Rono Thomas is now to Lemmy as well, really trying to help him get that slipstream, so even on these smaller straights he is helping him out. Looking up the inside there, it's just not going to happen, and he does well not to go into the back of him again, and we've only got 2 more corners to get past. Deciding not to throw it up the inside on the left-hand corner, he sets himself up with a wider entry, which gives him the chance to put it up the inside on the final corner. He makes the move stick, and it's a drag race to the line. Rono Thomas in front, doing all that he can to, well, it's not even weave, it's just a couple of moves here and there, but that's going to be it. Second in Rono Thomas, Ruben up in first there, and Dylan coming in third position. So well done, Dylan. A little bit of a silver lining there for the video and for the couple of races. But once again, a massive congratulations to ARC for doing a fantastic job in preparation and execution in the racing. And that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching, liking and subscribing. Thank you to the channel members for doing what you do. And we'll see you in the next one.